Hi, my name's Adam Chamberlain from Elite Pro Golf. Today we're going to talk about how we can take our range game to the course, how we can actually practice and how we should play. First week back, it's been fantastic to see everybody. We had 3 days of glorious weather and now it feels like Arctic all over again. So it's been really cold the last few days. But we're looking forward to getting back. But one of the things that me and Sam have seen a lot in the first week is people that may have been doing quite a bit of practice or getting back to practicing, all of a sudden are just really struggling when they get out on the golf course. And some people are playing nicely, but it is hard when you get back. And why is it hard? Well, this is kind of what happens. So we're going to do a little bit different in this video. I'm going to do two different sections. So the first section, we're going to talk about practicing. So I'm here, I've just got the driving range up on the simulator. I'm just going to hit a couple of shots. I'm warming up, getting myself ready to go. Okay, so what are we trying to do on the range? We're trying to work on our game. We're trying to work on specific things for us. So for instance, for me, to use me as an example, I'm always trying to make sure that I can set up in good posture. I'm making sure I'm connected to the ground and I make sure that I'm in balance. All of those things I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to make sure I'm doing that. And then from here, once I'm in a good setup position, for me, my personal thing is I get too stuck behind me like this. I either hit the ball to the right, hit the ground first, or hook it a bit to the left. So for me, I'm trying to get my arms to work down in front of me and exit to the left. So I'm going to have some practice swings, feeling like I'm getting the arms in front of me, working the club to the left. But what generally happens is when you're doing this on the driving range, you can start to get a feel for it. Balance one off a little bit there. Let's do it again. So we'll maybe do that again. I'm working on my swing, making sure my setup's in the right place. Okay, let's have another go. Pulled it to the left. Okay, but after I've hit a few balls, I'm going to find that I can start to get in some sort of rhythm. But then how do we take this to the golf course? And this is where most people fall down. Now, what is it about being on the driving range that's so much easier? One, there's no real target at times, especially if you're working on some technical moves. Your feedback is generally how it feels from a strike perspective or what the ball is doing. Now, you need to understand, if you're working on some technique, you're probably going to struggle to control the ball, but you may be able to hit the middle of the club. Sometimes you can mishit it. Okay, so other times you may be feeling like your technique's in the right place. I'm starting to get it, either Sam or myself, you're swinging, they're telling you your swing's really good. Now you need to start controlling the ball. That means you need to start hitting the middle of the club face. You need to start controlling the trajectory and trying to tighten up your pattern of shots. That is a different sort of practice. So that is more kind of balance, going through the same routine every single time. But a lot of this stuff requires a lot of thought, a lot of thinking in your head, you know, like going through your mental checklist. And I hear that a lot, you know, okay, right, so feet together, right, left foot, right foot, okay, bend from the hips. Let me just check I've got my grip on properly. Okay, right, now from here, I'm not too close, I'm out of the right distance from the ball. Okay, right arm on top, club to the top. And then from here, I can make sure I shift my weight. And then, so there's a lot of kind of like mental thought going on with that tick, tick, tick checklist. The problem is when we're on the golf course and you cannot play with all of that. So you have to be able to react to the target. But what you need to be able to do is make sure that you're practicing enough so that when you get onto the driving range, towards the end, you're just swinging without too much thought, just a couple of keys, water down your technical advice. So for me, when I play on the golf course, I'm not really trying to make sure everything's perfect. So for me, if I was trying to hit a shot, I'll be very much over the golf ball, get comfortable. Okay, now I'm just going to feel like my arms work down into the ball first, and then I would hit it. And from there, I find I have much more control of the ball. And I'd always do this right at the end, okay? So right at the end of my practice is where I would do this, okay? So now I'm going to have a quick flick video. We're going to put you on a golf hole, and I'm going to talk about how this process may work from here. Okay, now, so we're in a course environment. We're on a golf hole. So we've got 167, as you can see. Those of you that have been in the studio, this is one of the ones that me and Sam use a lot. Island green, nothing like this to try and intimidate you with some water. So pins on the left-hand side of the green. There's not a lot of wind. You can see here, not got a lot of room here between here and the water. Pins fairly centered onto the green. I'm going to be trying to aim middle of the green. and worst case, I'm going to take the water out and try and play towards the back edge. So for me here, taking your range game from the practice area onto the golf course requires two very separate skills. So if you're out here, you should be consuming all of the information you require to play a golf shot. How far is it? Where is the wind? Where's the safe side to play? And how far would I like to hit my golf ball? So for me, 167, I definitely want to be carrying the ball at least 167 to 170 to be on the safe side to make sure I don't go into the water. For me, that's going to be a very smooth 7-iron. And so I'm going to grab my 7 and we're going to talk through the process of what is different from how we practice to how we are on the range. Now, different people do this differently, okay? So everybody has their own way of doing it. But for me, I tend to get a feeling for the shot I'm going to play. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the aim for the simulator. I'm going to aim it in the middle of the green. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a feel for my swing. So for me, on the golf course, it's a much more watered down version to what I did on the driving range when I was really trying to work the club to the left like this. I'm not going to do that. I'm just feeling like, okay, right, get my arms down first. Okay, and now I'm going through my process. I'm going to line it up behind. I'm going to walk in. I'm going to get comfortable in my setup. Again, not overdoing my setup. And then I'm just going to trust my swing and go. Okay, got lucky, gone pretty good. So that is how I would go through my process. But for those of you that got a couple of things, so for instance, somebody that's maybe working on a backswing move or a downswing move, I would suggest you do this. First practice swing, waggle it. I'm trying to get the club a bit more up in the backswing or right arm a bit more high because I'm get the club this way. So, okay, I might waggle it into my backswing a little bit this way. First waggle. Second waggle might be, okay, right now I'm really trying to make sure I get the face square. So I'm going to feel like my left hand, for instance, those of you slicing maybe turns down to the ground. I might practice it this way. That would be my second waggle. And then from here, my third waggle would be a full release of the club, feeling like and trying to visualize the shot I'm trying to play before I execute. And then I'd step to the shot, just walk in and play, okay? To take your range game from the driving range to the golf course, you need to distinctly separate what I can do out here in the playing environment. Because out here when you're on the golf course, you need to have control of the ball, control of your thoughts. But if you're so consumed with the technical information, you're going to potentially make a really bad decision. 167, you might think, I tell you what, do you know, for me personally, 165 is my 8-iron. So I might think, do you know what, I'm just going to hit a normal 8-iron, should be absolutely fine. Okay, and then I slightly mishit it. Maybe I misjudged the wind. Maybe I didn't take into account the elevation change. So all of a sudden, I could be hitting the wrong club here just because I was more consumed with, oh, just 8-iron will do. And then I'm too busy into, right, overdo this technique. Let's work on this technique. And then what happens, God forbid, I leave the face open slightly. I slightly mishit it. And now we're swimming and we're in the bag for another golf ball. And we're 3 off the tee. So you want you to think about how to separate practice to playing, and when you play, find the feelings, use your waggles, find the right way for you to do it that's not overly technical and overly consuming of this, and so that you can get into playing the golf shot and the hole that's in front of you in order for you to be more consistent. Now, one final big piece of information that you shouldn't do. If you're out there and you're struggling right now, I want to ask you 2 questions. How hard are you trying? Or how hard is your grip pressure or your tension level? Because when you get back out on the golf course, when you're worried about where the ball's going, you're going to throttle the club, tension level is going to be really, really high. This can impede balance, rhythm, synchronization of your golf swing, and this could be the biggest problem that you're having on the golf course. So use this information. I know there's a lot of information here, but because it's not one-on-one and nobody's personal here in this video, I need you to think about this for yourself. Take what you can out of this video, and I really, really hope it helps you play better straight away and roll on summer. Let's get some short sleeves out and enjoy the golf. Great to see you all back.